to all of for being here today. I do have several updates I want to share with you, and then we're going to be jumping into the pathway groups to talk about some writing that has been done. I am pleased to report that we're beginning to see the outlines of a grant forming, we do have multiple actions going on right now. One is that we have sent out a request for letters of engagement, and we're really targeting people who've been attending these meetings. So I'm hoping you get those letters of engagement. If you don't, please let someone on the team know so that we can get those to you. We have we would need something from your on your letterhead saying that you're in support of this project, and it's outlined in the letter of engagement that we'll be sending out. And we're doing very targeted requests for letters of engagement as well, to make sure that we have a very complete package of the kinds of support that we need in order to submit a comprehensive proposal for the Inland Empire. The second thing I have to report is that we now know for sure that a second proposal is in the works in the region. And yesterday, the letters of engagement were sent out, and you may have received a letter of engagement as part of this process. This request is coming out of RCOE, we are continuing to pursue our project. We're writing our proposal, pulling this stuff together. We've been meeting regularly. We have a strong team. We have good writers, and so we are going to continue to push forward on our phase 1 proposal. Even though we are not, as a region, submitting one comprehensive proposal for the whole region, which is kind of the intent of this project. I've been in contact with several of the folks who are on the nominating committee for the steering committee, and you know, they say continue to push forward on this, and so I've been given directions to continue to push forward on a phase 1 grant. I'll stop there and ask questions, and I'll give you as much information as I know.
I guess, Carlos, I thought we had RCOE on board with us, so I'm wondering what the concerns are there.
Yeah, I don't know, Becky. I've reached out to Edwin multiple times, and at the beginning of this project, up until yesterday, until I got an official notification from him, I had only heard some rumors about this, and I received an official notification yesterday about this. So I don't know where, you know, I presume they've been working on this all along, and we were not informed of it, but that's a presumption on my part. And I think it strikes a blow at collaboration in the IE. But I do believe that submitting two phase 1 proposals the state may push back and say that we need to submit one together in September, a planning grant to work this through. But that means we do need to submit a phase 1 proposal now, as we are doing, and see where that falls out. I don't know if any of you have received the request for letters of engagement. Many of the people that I collaborate regularly with in this room do not were unaware of the project. So I just know that. Thank you for your question, Becky. Yes.
Wayne Fletcher. So that means that UCR, CSUSB, and the community college districts are engaged with the other proposal as well?
Well, that's what I understand from their language. I have not heard it from my chair of my board and my past chair of my board, Rusta Moss and Kent. I'm reaching out to them today to find out. When I spoke to them yesterday, that was not the case. So I need to find out. I don't know which community college. I have some suppositions about that. I spoke with Chancellor Isak yesterday. He's unaware of any actions happening within his campuses, but it may be happening in one of the RCC campuses. Henry Shannon has expressed his interest in the GIA project, and you know, he's thrown his hat in that ring. Diana at Crafton Hills, at San Bernardino Community College District has, you know, they're leading this proposal. They're the lead educational agency, and College of the Desert, Martha Garcia, she's in you know, working with the Coachella group, the One Future group, and all their school districts. The folks up in the high desert, I've reached out to folks there. They're not aware of the project and happening in Riverside either. And so we're in contact with Matt Wells, and I will be reaching out directly to the two community college presidents there, inviting them to our program as well. I had informed them about this possibility of this project, and they've got some strong collaborations there that could use some support.
But without a CSU or a UC, theirs can't go forward, correct?
That's correct.
Isn't that a requirement? Okay.
That's correct. I had heard rumors that there may be another UC or another Cal State in this process. I have not heard directly from Kim or from Tomas that they are supporting the other project. That's what I know, Wayne.
Carlos, if I just may add for the group, I think it's a for those of you who may be familiar with it, the application is coming from Riverside Community Education, or what is it, RCEC, which is the Education Collaborative, which is 5 districts in that project within RCOE. So it's very targeted, but nevertheless, to the point, it is from Riverside County Office of Education. So one thing, Carlos, that the network has asked me in a couple of meetings, and I just think since everybody's in the room, it'd be a good time to cover it. Questions such as if they received a letter of intent request from RCEC and then they receive one from us, what action steps can be taken, what is allowed and not allowed through the application process. Can one district support both applications?
I think individual organizations need to make that determination. I mean, we can only talk about the work that we're doing here and about the effort that we're doing within our space, trying to build a regional comprehensive program. That's all we can speak to, and people need to make their decisions based along those lines. My hypothesis is that when the state receives both phase 1 programs, that they're going to ask us to punt to September. That's what I think will happen, but I may be wrong. And then we'll have to build from that point forward. That does not mean that all this work that we're doing now is lost, because all of this work that we're doing now could be folded into a planning grant, and it would give us more time to be able to build out the structures in this place. But individual organizations need to make that decision on their own. A UC and a CSU, they can support multiple programs. That is within their frame. Or our ability to be able to do that. I heard a question, but I didn't see from whom it came.
No, it's not a question, it's more of a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
How you doing? This is Alex Avila.
Yep.
My observation for the last 3 some years with these grants is that this is kind of normal, that a group will be formalizing and building kind of like a process, and then another group would just pop out. Seems like out of nowhere, right? But my recommendation, or at least comment, and you can make it whatever choice you want, but if someone's already built and or is already to submit they already have their budget, their numbers, and their crew. So what happens is they already have their plans, their format. And so you add into their platform, you're just an appendix. You're not really a part of the infrastructure or leadership. So you're just like literally just an add-on so they can get the funds and they give you the crumbs, but you're not in a long-term relationship to build out a full plan. So my recommendation for folks who, you know, who get excited to hear about this other platform, if you weren't invited in the beginning, then my recommendation, don't waste your time. GIA has done a good job in keeping folks inclusive and being transparent about the process and teaching us where we are in the process and creating a collective that can apply for transparent and impactful grant in our region. So my recommendation is don't chase the money, build the relationship. And I think GIA has done that great job.
Yeah, Alex, this is a really important comment. I do believe in, as you say, the institutions need to make their decision and you're giving them some very valuable insight. Alex, I agree with you 100%. We are in this for the long haul, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to build something that's going to last beyond this blip of a grant that is going to allow us to lift up the voices of the people in the IE and really find the effective way of transforming our educational system in a way that better aligns it with economic development, better aligns it with jobs, so that people can feel a part of it. When I wake up in the morning and I think about the 24% of our adults over the age of 24 that have some college and no degree, what's that about? And I think about the 33% of Latino adults in the IE with no high school degree. We have folks who have been disconnected or been disenfranchised from the educational system, and that's what we're trying to work on. And it's going to take a collective effort that goes beyond just crossing Interstate 10 from one county to the other. It's a work that requires the entire community to participate in, and we'll have bumps like this in the road. But I think continuing to push forward on this collective idea, I think that is the right play here. I was speaking with Chancellor Isaac yesterday, and he said to me, they're launching they're looking to try to launch some sort of training center in Jurupa Valley, and they're having a big breakfast next Friday, and they bring in some folks to talk about it. It should be pretty exciting, I think. And the thing that he talks about is we are in a battle against poverty in the IE, and what we have to be able to do is to link arms together and work across our institutions and across our county lines to be able to do that. Put aside our ambitions in our spaces and be able to collaborate to be able to move this thing forward. So we're playing this for the long haul, and that is the role of GIA is to support this collaboration and make this collaboration grow. And I think that it is. I agree with Alex completely in what he said. I'm sorry I was rambling there.
No, you're doing fine. And we had this experience when we were actually invited. We're part of working with another group, and another group approached us. And literally when we asked them, why are you approaching us now? They just wanted to use our names in the documentation. And that's what it was. They weren't even interested in our ideas. They couldn't even find a space for us to be part of the grant. They just needed the name to show the funders that, they had this element. So I would caution anybody, whenever you see things to that nature, just think about it. Think about the process. If you weren't invited in the beginning, you don't know what the process is, chances are you're just another name on a list. And so I wouldn't be concerned. I think this is a bigger table and more inclusive, more diverse. No shade to the other group, but I'm excited about what this table has created and how GIA has conducted itself. And so a lot of integrity, a lot of character, and thank you for the invite and the process that you have held. So you're good in our books.
Thank you. Others, Stephanie.
Good morning, everyone. You know, Alex speaks my mind on a lot of what he just said. I think I'm also thinking about what you said, Carlos, about potentially if both of these move forward, if the state comes back and says, you know, you need to reframe and put it together. So I'm thinking hopefully those conversations are already happening. It's definitely likely, if I understand correctly, that both will not get funded, right? It's going to be one or the other, or they're going to say, bring it together, right? So I would definitely want to know more about what it is that they are planning so that we can start having a conversation about what a potential meld would look like. You know, I mean, we've got our goals too, and maybe we don't know, right? We don't know. Maybe their goals exactly align with what we're trying to do. We really don't know at this point. I can't say I like how it's happened, but Alex is right in the fact that it does, right? Like things like this happen, and they're probably getting the same sort of pressure to have, we know how that works too, right? Like, oh, everybody has to have their own skin in the game. And so maybe this is where it's coming from. But I just would encourage those conversations to begin now. Maybe we can't include them in our application, and maybe they're not going to include us in theirs, but those conversations have got to start to figure out how it is that it's going to be one region, one team, one dream. So.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Stephanie. And when I started having conversations with Edwin with this, I even proposed that we stop now and think about, you know, forming a committee that could resolve these differences. But that's not what happened. And so I think that once we get through the flurry here of the grant submission, and we see what the results are from the state, then that's the place when we begin doing this. But I completely agree with you, Stephanie. We need to have these conversations, and these are the conversations that actually gave birth to GIA, right? Because there was similar activity occurring about 6 or 7 years ago, and that's when the leaders got together to make this decision. So I'm trying to understand why people are making the decisions they are now too, and what is it that we're not doing right now that led to this. I do know that some of those team folks, some of those folks from RCEC were at our first couple of meetings, and I don't know if there's folks from RCOE here now, but there are many leaders within RCOE who are deeply invested in the work of GIA in different places.
Well, and I will say, I don't think it's a reflection of GIA's effort to create a region-wide collaborative. I think that GIA has really, really done a great job at that. I appreciate what you just said, is that are we not doing something correctly if they have branched off? I definitely would be curious to hear what was that point for them to say, oh gosh, this isn't going in a way that we could support, so we're going to go this way instead. I would definitely be interested in that, because I just know that in the long run that could strengthen the collaboration, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I think, and again, I love this idea, and we should invite them so they can possibly talk about a sample of the proposal, because they'll never share the whole process. But think of how the negotiation is going to go. If someone's already established a process and they're already ready to apply, they got their team, a partnership would look like 80-20%, if you're lucky. So what that means is, because they already identified their line items of what they want to do with the grant. So a partnership, it wouldn't even be a partnership. It'll be just someone will have to compromise who would take lead. And so you have to, because I know we get to this space where it's kumbaya, we could probably work together. And I love that concept, but people are people. And I just wanted to just be, when they come to the table, the question is always going to come back to what percentage of your plan will be part of their plan, and who's leading the plan. And it's not equitable. And so you have to, and if that's the process, then we also have to have the conversation as well to see what that will look like.
Eileen Maas, someone else? I taught middle school. I can wait.
Silence is always golden.
I was just going to say, I think we have a great plan and we continue to move forward. I mean, and GIA, I feel like really recognizes and supports the Inland Empire as a whole, not one, you know, subsection of the Inland Empire. So I say, let's just keep at it and get the best application that we can get in. And then, you know, we'll see what happens, where the cards lay once the competition is final, and then we go from there. At the end of the day, everyone's going to end up working together. It's just a matter of how we do it, right? So let's just keep working towards getting that strong application in.
I agree. We have some notes, Carlos, in the chat from Dean Gerstein. I think these are in regards to some of the FAQs from the website in regards to partnerships and multiple applications. So just wanted to point everyone to those comments in case you had any similar questions. Thank you for posting.
Want to give a hats off to Wiafi. He did some bold writing, and we're beginning to see some structure here. We're really looking forward to finding out more about information coming from the pathways, and you know, the way that we're structuring this is we anticipate that there will be you know, an RFP process down the line where money will be distributed out from this group when we become successful in receiving this money, and I look forward to how this is all going forward. And we are playing the long game here for sure. So if I don't hear any other questions, I'd like to move forward into breaking up into the pathways, and of course we can continue the conversations there. I will stay back for a few minutes if someone wants to have a conversation with me, and otherwise we can go out into the breakout groups. Jackie, are you here? You are. I saw you earlier.
Yeah, I was just about to say something really quickly before, because I'm not sure if we're going to come back from breakouts or if we're going to leave from breakouts. So if you could clarify that. And then the other thing is that you mentioned the Inland Empire Technical Trade Center at RCCD. Deborah Mustaine is going to be giving a brief update on that project today at the SURF meeting. So SURF meeting will happen at 1 o'clock. So she'll be highlighting. Alex is also going to be talking about the Black and Brown Collective as well. And you know, I just wanted to say, you know, we're like 2 weeks out. May 2nd is around the corner, and we have been working since January on this. I've seen some of the notes and things that are coming out of the working groups that are talking about, you know, what needs to go into the grant. And so I agree with Alex and Stephanie. We got to stay focused on the task at hand, and you know, we're living in a different sort of world in grants nowadays, where, you know, I see the state wanting to have one application, you know, for these grants and things, and have us work together, which we need to work towards. However, that's a process for people. You know, back in the day, those of us who have been working in grants for a long time, it was always just you know, throw everything in the hat and see what sticks. we have to realize that we're moving away from that in a lot of these pandemic era grants, where the state is really focusing on regionalism. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in SURF later today at 1 o'clock, and sort of, the state really looking at regions coming together. And so I just wanted to remind everybody on the call that regional collaboration may not be new to you and what you do every day. And I see Stephanie shaking her head, because when it comes to regionalism with the strong workforce folks, I was at the beginning of Strong Workforce and saw everything that had to be done to get folks to work on a regional scale. This work is really hard to get folks, to come together. So we have to just stay focused on the good work that we've been doing, and that grant application that we're already working on. And so with that, always recruiting for the business pathway. If you want to come and join us in our breakout, James has done an outstanding job of taking the lead and putting in some amazing information. And also Lisa, she's not here because she's at a conference today, but really good stuff coming out of the business track. So I'm just grateful to be here with all of you. I will put the SURF call in the chat for those of you who may not have it. And that's it. Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah, an important highlight that Chancellor Isak mentioned to me yesterday about this training center was that he has both Henry Shannon and Diana Rodriguez from Chaffee and San Bernardino County attending that meeting. And so he's building a strong coalition too with that work. And that's the model we're trying to build, right? That's the model.
And he's been coming to the SURF meetings and just been a real voice and a very consistent message on, we're not fighting each other. This is what he said, and these words stuck with me. And that's that we're not fighting each other. We're fighting poverty, and we have to stay focused on that. We have to stay focused on, that's really why we're doing these pathways and clusters and sectors and whatever else you want to call it. And there's the PowerPoint that I'll be sharing later. I'm talking about the various alignments with Good Jobs Challenge. We're talking about a lot of the same stuff here, and to be able to leverage all of the work that's happening in the region. Workforce, I know Leslie's here on the call. They're doing amazing things. They have a summit that's coming up next Friday on the 29th. So I don't know if Leslie wants to put that, shameless plug here, guys, if Leslie wants to put that in there, but that's also another space for us to come together, and really look at what's happening in our region. And also, there's just, I don't even know how they're going to fit everything that they're doing into one summit, because there's just so much, and so much has changed with the pandemic in what we're doing with workforce. So there's a lot of alignment and a lot of really good work that's being done, and we just got to stay focused on that.
Great. Yeah, we will be coming back, Jackie, just to do a quick reminder about the letters of engagement after we have a chance to go into our breakout rooms. Okay. Oh, Leslie.
Thanks, Carlos. So this is my first time at this meeting, so I wasn't sure if I could do a shameless plug, but Jackie just opened the door, so I'm going to walk through it. Leslie Trainer, Riverside County Workforce Development, really excited to be part of this, and love all the great things about fighting poverty and the good work that Growing Inland Achievement has been doing on this grant. But as Jackie mentioned, Riverside County Workforce Development and San Bernardino County Workforce Development Boards, we've been collaborating, speaking of regionalism, we've been collaborating as a region for workforce development issues. Raising the Roof with Stephanie when she was with Workforce Development in San Bernardino County. We've been doing that for a while. And yeah, we do get a lot of feedback that is the key to success on some of our applications, is that we work well together representing our region. So we're doing it again a week from today on the 29th at the March Air Reserve Base Museum. And we're having what we hope is the first of an annual Workforce Development Summit for the Inland Empire. So I'm gonna, if I can figure out how to do this in chat, I'll put a flyer in the chat, but want to let everybody know that it's happening, and we would love it if you could make it.
If you have difficulty, Leslie, you could email it to me and we can send it out too.
Okay, thank you.
There's also information on the Rivco website too. So if you just Google search Rivco Workforce Development, the flyer is there as well.
Okay, let's Nicole, let's jump into the pathways group and let's bring everybody back with 5 minutes before they close, please.
Well, that gives us plenty of time to go through my 18-page document.
18 pages. Oh,
I know. I've got the professor's disease, so you can decide what to cut. But I always dump more in, and then you can drain the sink and throw most of it on the wall.
Read fast, James. Read very fast.
all right.
We're sharing it so people can read at their own pace.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead and join a breakout room. I'll stay back here to answer questions. We
James,
anticipate.
do you want to give the elevator speech for a business group?
Sure. Yeah, I got 10 seconds.
Go.
Oh no, we just lost 30 floors. Our elevator speech is that there will be, we have seen data that's already 5 years old that estimates 40 to 50,000 jobs being lost in the inland region to automation. We want to replace those jobs with family and individual startups that help them thrive and continue to live in the area, and then help them grow to where they're hiring and become a force for workforce development. And we think we can do that at a pretty economical price. We don't know what that is yet, but we will by the time we write the grant.
Anything else to share?
I appreciate all the support, because I just kind of dumped out my ideas, and I just appreciate this group, and the people in it are just wonderful, and I'm proud to be part of it.
On to James. Anybody else? So we did send out the letters of engagement request. If you have not received that, please let us know. You know, we'll be collecting those and submitting them as part of the grant. We are in contact with the folks in San Bernardino Community College District. They're going to be the chief submitters, and we will have writing and a progress update for all of you next Friday. We are really close to the wire here. Anything else, team?
I was just going to say, Carlos, just in case any of the group, if anyone has received the letter and there's any questions in regards to any of the content or how to, you know, what our hope is for your added detail, right, from your institution, this is a good time to ask any questions if you received it. Some of you have already returned them very quickly, so thank you in advance for that.
Mm-hmm. Amy, did you get one? Amy Copeland?
Amy Copeland, I was going to say, can we welcome Amy? She is new to the College and Career Readiness group at San Bernardino City Unified. So I just want to shout out and say welcome to the network.
Thank you, everybody. I'm still learning, and I do recall receiving the letter, and I'm working with Rose because I'm not exactly sure what needs to be done with it.
Okay, great.
But yes, we did see the email.
Great. Please reach out to us if you have any questions.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Great.
All right. Well, if there's not anything else, folks, please reach out to us if you have any questions or ideas, and we look forward to giving you a very positive update next Friday as to where we stand with this. And together, we're going to make a huge difference here in the IE, and this is the kind of collaboration and building that we need to do to be successful, to be able to make this happen. And so thank you all for your time today.
Bye, everybody. Take care.